Okay, this is as straight as my camera is going to get, sitting in my sister's car because we are now traveling for the summer, and so I don't have my perfect Subaru lighting nor my tripod because my dad needed it and he forgot his, so we're gonna make it work. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabelle, your spiritual rebel friend, and today I wanted to talk more about confidence because I had a really massive experience that helped me up-level my confidence. And not only do I feel like this helped me just be more confident in myself, but I feel like already it has helped me feel more in vibrational alignment with my desires. So if law of attraction is something you're interested in, I encourage you to watch on as well. Confidence is something that I love to talk about, not only because I feel like I've always, in a way, been good at confidence, but in many ways I also struggled. It was so to say I mastered the persona of confidence. It's probably because my numerology as a 1910 is literally the words creativity and confidence. And so in relevance to more shy personalities or introverted personalities, I seemed very confident. But confidence is something that unfortunately I've found is not just achieved, but you have to maintain, in the sense that it takes, to be confident in ourselves takes a skill set. And I want to touch more, this experience that I had is related to skill set. And so I've been feeling on a steady flow of confidence, but when it comes to, manifesting your desires, believing you're worthy of more, wanting something different in life, you have to feel as if you are growing to some degree. Self-growth is a huge aspect of confidence. And so applying that and learning how to grow is really key for self-confidence, but also specifically not just in the I'm developing myself, healing my wounds. We have to actually do things. So this experience I recently just spent the week with my family friends who own a piece of property in Utah, out in the middle of nowhere. It was gorgeous. We rode four-wheelers, we shot guns, we did all these things that were on my bucket list for a long time. I grew up riding quads, and I stopped after I took a bad fall, and it really just psyched me out as a kid. And so getting back on a quad was really empowering. Shooting is something I really wanted to do more of just because of the motion of it. It was super fun. And on top of it, I hit a bunch of the targets, so that was huge. But then there was the cherry on top. As I told you, we travel full time, and I'm traveling with my sister for the summer, so we're towing a trailer. And it has always been my mom and sister who tow the trailers, sometimes my dad. But me, no. I would maybe drive our Class C motorhome, but overall, the idea of towing a trailer psyched me out. On top of it, I would move my camera to show you, but I know it's perfectly balanced right now. My sister has a stick shift, a manual truck. So I can drive stick shift, but her truck is not my go-to. I don't love it. It's fun when you want to be, off-roading type and you don't feel like you have to obey the traffic laws. But to tow with a manual 26-foot trailer sounded nerve-wracking, and it was frankly something I avoided because while I see myself as a very capable person, logically I know that I feel very incapable just because of the fact probably that I grew up with such capable parents and sister. I always just assumed that I was going to fall short. It doesn't necessarily matter why the belief's there. I just noticed that it is there. This dialogue of I'm not going to be good enough, or even more so just thinking about the stakes. Recently, Gabby has a video on this too. Gabby unfortunately had an accident with her new trailer she bought, and so that trailer was totaled, and of course that plays in my head with the idea of towing, especially because I know Gabby is very competent. She's one of the most competent people I know, and so to think about towing psyched me out. But I knew that I needed to do it because one of my favorite quotes is from Bruce Lee, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't remember it exactly, but you cannot apply limitations to one thing without then therefore applying limitations to everywhere else in your life. So you must be limitless in order to reach your fullest potential. And so I've told myself this story of I don't think I can tell, I'm not going to, basically psyching myself out over it, saying I'm not going to do it. And at the same time, as we were leaving our friend's property, my mom started broaching the subject of, towing this summer, because to have 2 trailers and only 3 drivers really doesn't balance out. And if we're driving for 6 hours at a time, it's not going to work very well. So I kind of do need to step up and start doing that a bit, so then I can help Gabby with the driving. And on top of it, why not? Why wouldn't you be capable of doing so? So it was a concept I started to broach, and it seemed more plausible as over the weekend I did 2 things that really were things that I didn't feel very confident doing, which was shooting and riding quads. The quads wasn't even as much of a big deal, but just simply being able to drive those and do something that was empowering and have fun with it, and with shooting, learning about the guns and being able to shoot well, really gave me insight before that I'm more capable than I give myself credit for. Especially because I had negative, so to say, experiences with guns before. This being able to have positive experiences where I felt very competent around them felt good. And so when we pulled over and my mom told me to basically, like, you don't have to, but do you want to try towing? This is an easy segment of road. We're in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, where there's 0 traffic. It's a 2-lane highway. There's low like, you should be fine. I hopped in the driver's seat and I towed. And turns out it was way easier than I thought it was going to be. It was still nerve-wracking. It was still required a lot of focus, and I was definitely nervous about having to shift gears with a trailer behind me whose brakes were not necessarily in the best condition, but towed well. The trailer's in one piece. It was not too bad. I didn't exhaust myself too much. Basically, I just did it. And so I could not believe the empowerment I felt after that. Because even I'm still riding it. This was just yesterday, so I'm still riding the high of that. And being able to do something that I thought I'd never be able to do, or told myself this story that I wouldn't be able to do or would avoid, was huge. Naturally, as an Enneagram 9, I'm very avoidant of discomfort. And so I tend to play up these stories of how uncomfortable things will be out of fear of burning myself out or being uncomfortable, which then the discomfort of the avoidance ends up being more than the actual thing itself. So I've been building up this discomfort around the idea of towing probably for years now. Ever since I got my license back in when I was 18, which is only like 2 years ago. But even before then, hearing that story play out, there was so much fear around it. And being able to overcome that hurdle and feel very competent behind the wheel and just feel like I'm capable more than I could have ever imagined doing that. Feeling a deep understanding of how to do that successfully was huge for me. And it really, on top of it, not only does it just simply put, open up my confidence, but it really opens me up to think about what I'm capable of. And that boosts my confidence even further to know that there's so much more I can do, in a sense. If this was, in a way, felt like nothing that I played up, what else am I capable of? And so the reason in the end that I want to share the story is because the simplest way to hack confidence is you're not going to feel necessarily confident if you keep repeating mantras. You're not going to feel confident if you are, developing yourself or dressing in a way that makes you feel good. You have to do things. In a spiritual approach, this is the solar plexus chakra, located at our abdomen. It is our self-confidence and our ability to take action. We cannot believe in ourselves and feel empowered. We cannot feel confident in our abilities if we're not testing those abilities. And so if we remain the same, we will feel that. And I know that because while I'm a very confident and capable person, there was a certain point where I felt like I plateaued. And in a way, if you're not improving, you're degressing. And so for me, it felt like not putting this off, and for so long, I was starting to build more and more insecurity because I was applying this limit to myself, and I was just then beating myself up for, why can't I do this? Even though that was a total story in my head. It's either we can or can't do it. Yoda, the most wise philosopher. Do or not do, try there is not. So in order to build confidence, we have to do something that is massively, terrifyingly challenging, so to say. We have to be uncomfortable to some degree. On that note, too, the aspect of discomfort is definitely a challenging one. Oftentimes people feel so, I think, subtly uncomfortable in their lives because they're not living in alignment with their heart, that to do anything more uncomfortable feels challenging. And so doing something challenging, doing something crazy and that you would never think you'd be able to do in the end is my suggestion. If you're struggling with confidence, I think it is the one thing in the end that will shift your confidence above all else, because without action, you will not feel confident. I think that's solid. You can build more confidence, but you will not feel truly self-confident without the ability to try hard things. But not just trying any hard things, you don't need to go skydiving. You don't need to quit your job and try to live off the street and get back to $1 million, but doing something in alignment with your heart. What is something you've been wanting to do that you don't believe you're capable of? Because for me, towing my trailer is a huge part of my life. I want to, in the end, live a life where I do get to travel, and to basically expect to be a passenger princess all my life and not help out feels wrong, especially because I want to be as capable as possible. It's not in alignment with my values to place a limitation on myself. So what is something that you don't believe you're capable of, but would be huge for you to try? I'm trying to remember, there's an acronym for this too that my mom used the other day. It has to be, I'll add another clip to this if I think of it, but I might just make another video on it. But it has to be, somewhat tangible. For me to tow my trailer, it's not like I went from driving just my Subaru to hopping in the front seat of a stick shift vehicle I've never driven. It was a progression for sure. I learned to drive stick. I've driven Gabby's truck thousands of times. I've driven a big Class C RV, so I have some familiarity. I've watched my mom and sister tow a lot. So it made this goal very practical, but at the same time, a little uncomfortable. So finding that level of discomfort. Don't push yourself out over the deep end, but do dive in still to something. What is something that you feel incapable of that realistically you can do, but will be uncomfortable? What is something your heart's been wanting to do? Or work backwards. What is a goal that you feel like, or a desire that you feel like you never be able to achieve? Something on your bucket list. Maybe it is something like skydiving. Maybe it is being able to fly to France. Maybe it's a monetary goal. Maybe it's a relationship goal. Maybe it's a passion goal. Work backwards from there. What would be the next big step to reach? What is a mile marker goal that you could attain that would be uncomfortable? How could you, in the end, push yourself? Limitations. Saying that we cannot do something makes us feel like we're less. So we have to keep expanding. And the more we can expand our capabilities, the more we expand our capacity to receive and our ability to believe that we're confident in ourselves and that we're capable of anything. So let me know, I apply this. Let me know in the comments below what goal you're going to go for. What is something that you believe you cannot do but would feel so good to do? Maybe it's performing, maybe it's going on to a competition, maybe it's towing a trailer, maybe it's being able to fly abroad, maybe it's being able to move into your own house. What is your goal? How are you going to pursue that? How are you going to make that happen? What is the first step you're going to take? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're down there, if you want more help identifying your limitations and your insecurities, if you want more help with discovering what kind of goal you should set, where you should be heading in life, then book a reading in the link in the description below, where in 1 hour we dive deep into your unique personality combination and how it can help you understand yourself more and get the things you want out of life. I recently worked with a client actually who really wants to become a director or a screenwriter rather than being just basically the side role. And we could find so many ways for her to not only justify why this is actually her destiny to work towards that, but identify her limitations and her beliefs with that using her unique personality combination. So it was impactful for her. It was crazy. She's on her path now from it. So book a link book a reading in the link in the description below if that's something that you want to feel. If you want to feel self-confident, if you want to discover your goals, live your best life, these readings are for you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and let me know if you enjoy these little stories that I share from my own personal life. If you enjoy when I share these stories, I will be sure to post more of them because I do live quite the hectic life traveling the world full time, and I try to just be practical and helpful in here. But if these stories inspire you, if these stories help you grow, then I will be sure to share more of them. So let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, my name's Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, namaste.